our trial lesson. I see we're online. That's great. That's always the first hard part. Looks like that YouTube, however, has his problems. So guess we're gonna just give it a second or two here. Okay, yeah. Uh, as said, we're still just waiting here. Okay, hopefully it will work. In a little bit, I contacted my colleagues on that again. But I guess probably the easiest way is if I give it 1 or 2 seconds, 1 or 2 minutes, and then we'll just start the stream for everybody that is watching us on Twitch right now. And yeah, if you watch on YouTube right now, no, you will not hear that. That didn't help too much. So yeah, I just hope that all the people from YouTube will then come over to Twitch. Can I somehow tell them? Not really, right? Okay, anyway, I think we just started then. So welcome everybody on Twitch. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Marcus. I'm an MTT coach at the Academy of Poker, and yeah, this is our trial lesson. This is the first small part of a group course we are offering you. If you want to already have a look at it, just yeah, click the link in the description below. If you are on our YouTube channel sometimes, and we have that in the description there, or you just hit one of the banners on Twitch just below me, um, you'll get to our website, can get in contact with one of our managers, and yeah, then just get all the details on how the course is working. I will let you know what the content of it is now and throughout the stream. So yeah, make sure to uh, watch it till the end so to not miss out on anything, and yeah, get all the information on our course. So, how does it basically start here? We talk about a lot of like common problems because the course and what we're doing as an Academy of Poker, so it's like a school. to teach you poker and to make you better in poker if you're already playing it. So there are like some common problems, as you see, like you're not sure which tournaments are better, you don't know how much money you really need. Case word is here, bankroll management. You don't know where to play exactly. There sometimes you have restrictions in the countries, or you have just so many sites that you're not sure and you don't know where the weakest players are, or if how good you are and if you are able to beat the people there, if you want to play big tournaments or small tournaments, if you have a lot of time or not. And yeah, then also if you get a bit more into detail, the thing about yeah, how to work with software, for example, because that's especially for online poker players is just really, really important to know what softwares or what programs are available and how to use them. And last but not least, where can you find just useful information, like in general about this? And yeah, how can you grow faster? How can you become a good player over time, fast, after some longer time? And how can you just start making money on poker? There's different reasons to play poker. So on one side, you have it for entertainment, and on the other side, you have it for income. So basically, it's if you are doing it for fun or you do it as a job. Just a quick second, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, so I was just told they were working on it, so we might be up on YouTube. There we are. See. Perfect. So now I'm yeah, saying hello to everybody on YouTube as well. Sorry for the short delay. Uh, you didn't miss too much really. I was just talking about the reasons why to play poker and yeah, why to do it for or for what reasons to do it and how to and like also just like common problems when you start in general something. And for poker now, it's going to be about like where to play, what to play, how much money do you need, what programs to use or what software to use, and where to gather information in general. And yeah, we are already here now talking about poker as entertainment and so as a hobby and poker as a job. For entertainment purposes, so if you have it as a hobby, the best thing is to just start by admitting that it is a hobby. You're not going to be a pro, you are not the best player in the world, and you shouldn't act like you are. You know, you have a stable job, hopefully, and you can afford to play it, as said, as a hobby from time to time because you just enjoy playing cards. You like to chat with other people if you do it live, or you just like to, have a little spice when you're playing on the PC. And I don't know, playing FIFA is not enough for you, for example, but you like to, yeah, have the chance also to win some money. And yeah, you want to have that little spice in your life. So, as said, admit it, don't worry about it, and yeah, just have fun. Really important, as I said, if you have a stable job, um, or if you have a few smaller jobs or whatever, or even probably even more important, if you don't have a job and you don't have a lot of money to work with, um, don't use it on poker. Like as said, if you need at first you need money to live, so you need food, for drinking, for living, and stuff like that. And after that, when you have some hobbies, and probably then it's better if you go for I don't know for the gym or something like that instead of sitting on the PC all day. You see with me. I need to do that stuff more often as well. Working on it, by the way. But I think you get the point. So if you have some spare money and you can afford it, the good thing is you can play online poker for as little as 10 cents or a dollar. So there's no need to have $200 every month for it. If you just want to play for fun, like twice a month or three times a month, you're gonna be having fun with 5, 10, or $50, just like set on different levels in that way, but you can still play big tournaments with a low buy-in. So that should not like that will not hold you back. But as said, just be careful about it and know that yeah, if you can use that money or if you can't. Knowing about how to handle money is also a thing if you do poker for income, if you do it as a job. Um, as well, you got to admit it, and you have to work on your game. And if we're talking about working on the game, it's just the whole thing of poker. So it's not only that you study because that's a big part of it. It's not, yeah, you shouldn't just play all the time. If you know about the top pros from all over the world, they do a lot of studying as well. That's why they stay on top. They're not just playing the whole time. I mean, of course, they're playing as well because it's their full-time job, but out of the, let's say, 40 hours a week, that you would normally have in a 40 in like working 8 days, 8 hours a day for 5 days a week, they are spending at least 10 to 15 hours on studying, so they know where they have leaks, where they have problems to improve that and to become better than the opponents, because everyone is just as good as the time he's also spending on studying and not only on playing. And yeah, talking about time. So there's like a time span, a time period for different things. You can, if you have it as a hobby, you probably maybe have 3 hours to play every day. If even, as said, if you do sports, if you have kids, for example, or if you have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, um, it's just not going to be that easy to have that many hours a day. And if you still want to play poker on a daily basis as a hobby, or at least like 3, 4 times a week for a few hours, then you have the hyper turbo tournaments or multi-table sit and goes because they don't last that long. You know it's going to be finished after 2, 3, or 4 hours maybe. If you have if you have it as a full-time job, which is the case, then if you just do it for a living, right, as a job. So then you have, let's say in this example, 10 hours a day, and that's the time you would need to play some regular speed tournaments because they last between 6 and 12 hours. So, and if you have a full-time job, it's going to be hard to play those tournaments on a daily basis because I've heard people do need sleep from time to time. So there you have to be careful as well to have the right schedule to know which tournaments you can play because you know how long they will approximately last at least. Different types of MTTs that I just want to publish, or I just want to promote you and tell you about that are common throughout the online poker world. You have the freeze out here, you have the knockout, the satellite, and the rebuy or the re-entry tournaments. And I'll just give you a short overview about all of these. So you have the freeze out tournaments, which are normal tournaments. You pay the buy-in fee once, you get the starting chips, the starting stack that everybody's getting, and you play as long as you still have chips left. If you if you're down to 0 chips, you just lose. You just leave the table and that's it. If you make it into the top 10, 15%, depends on the payout structure, you will get a prize back. So you win some money. And if you make it to as the last person of the tournament, so that you're the only one with chips left, you win the tournament, and yeah, you won some big prize money most of the cases. And yeah, the freeze out, as said, it just has one entry, and that's like the opposite of the rebuys and re-entries we have on the other side, where for the rebuy, it's the way that you just sit on the same table, and if you bust, you can just enter again. So you sit on the same place, you pay money, sorry, you pay the same amount again, and you get the same amount of chips back. Whereas on a re-entry, you have to leave the table, you get to the cashier's desk, you buy another ticket, and you get seated somewhere else. The differences are also that for rebuy tournaments, the periods are mostly a bit shorter to do that, and also there's an add-on after the rebuy period ends. And with that add-on, you can gain another amount of chips for the entry fee that you paid before that, prior to that. Mostly the add-on is a bit bigger than the normal uh, entry fee chip stack or the rebuy chip stack, just so they always have yeah, an incentive to also get that add-on. As said, for the re-entry, it's mostly limited to a few. When you think about the Sunday Million, for example, you have three re-entries, if I remember correctly. So you can just get into a new table three more times. So you play this tournament up to four times. If you then don't manage to yeah, get into the money, that that's then pretty unfortunate. But yeah, you at least had four chances to do it. Now to the other two tournaments. We have on the one side the knockout tournaments, which are really, really popular. If you saw my news last week or 2 weeks ago, I was talking about the KO series on PokerStars and the knockout series on Party Poker. So they promote these tournament styles a lot. In that way, it's mostly like the freeze out that you pay an entry fee once, and if you bust out, that's it. But from the entry fee you pay, 50% goes into the prize pool, the normal one, that will be paid out for however you finish in the tournament, and the other 50% will go into the knockout prize pool. That means if you bust a player, so if you take all his chips, you get this amount, yeah, right in your pocket. There's also a progressive knockout tournament, which means that this 50% you pay for the knockout prize pool is also divided into two halves, and you get the one into your pocket and the other one on your head. So your bounty is getting bigger, and yeah, therefore there are some pretty nice dynamics. Sometimes that there's a really, really big bounty with a short stack, so people really love to just go after that and call a lot of really, really weak hands just to have a chance to get the bounty. Last but not least, in this row now here, we have the satellites. The satellites are tournaments where you qualify for a different tournament. This can be online or for live events. And for live events, you can also win so-called packages. Packages mean that you not only get the entry fee to the tournament, but you get also like some expenses. So maybe the flight costs or costs for hotel and stuff, or for gas for the car and so on. So that's pretty nice. They have a different style because instead of having the goal to reach first place, because that's where the most money is, you just have to get a certain amount, have to get a certain place. So let's say 10 tickets for a specific tournaments are in this tournament, so you only have to manage to get 10th and you get the same amount than the first place. So it doesn't matter if you have a million or one chip, in the end you get the same price if you make it to the top 10. But we talk about this, for example, like about all the different types of MTTs a little bit more in detail, where we also talk about some more strategy for those MTTs in our group course that you, as said, can have a look at on our website, or if you click the description below now on YouTube, as you're with us now as well, or on the banner below my Twitch stream, and there you can just yeah, get in contact with our managers to be able to get more details about what the course is about and the costs as well. Bankroll management. I said it in the early beginning as well, where the question was, how much money do you need? And bankroll management, as a definition first, is something that helps us to protect ourselves from losing our bankroll completely. So let's say you deposit $100 and you just play one $100 tournament. You don't cash it, boom, bankroll is gone. You are down to zero again. If you use a bankroll management, those $100 would not be used for $100 tournament, but, and now you see the numbers here, if you play normal normal MTTs, you would need to have like 150 to 200 binds, or if you play turbo, hyper turbo tournaments, there should be at least 300 buy-ins in average on the buy-in that you have as your bankroll. So if we now think about $100, that mean you should in general or in average just play 33 cents for a buy-in. That means you can play 10 cents and $1 tournaments, but they should have uh, they should have like an average of 33, 35 cents. Just because the swings can be so big in normal tournaments as a lot of times. And if you think about again Sunday Million, Sunday Storm, Party Poker Million, or other sites from GG Poker, 888 Poker, especially the main events or the big events on a Sunday have thousands and thousands of players. And even if you're one of the best, it's not going to be too easy to cash it every single time. And maybe you have a downswing and then you will not cash it 20 times in a row, even though you always made the right decision. And to just protect yourself or protect your bankroll from those kind of swings, you want to have, as said, at least 150 to 200 if you play turbos, hyper turbos as well, to have 300 binds for this. A little something about me now. So I wait a second, gotta check something. No, okay, all good. I'm German, so I'm living in Prague now, and yeah, I moved here roughly 2 years ago now, and I like to play online a lot because the difference is if you go into a casino, and probably most of you have been there if you're over 18 or over 21, um, in certain countries. You go there and you want to play a tournament, and yeah, you're doing pretty well, but in the end, you maybe get a suck out. So I had this once when I went to my first live tournament, and yeah, build up some stack. I mean, I didn't know what to do really that at that time. I didn't use any schools, poker schools for that. I just saw it sometimes on TV. I played a little bit with friends and online, and I did do quite well. So yeah, I thought, yeah, let's just do it. I'm the best player I know, so what could go wrong? And yeah, somebody just completely outplayed me on the one hand, and then I got sucked out on another hand, and then I bust before the money. So you go into casino, you go in with a smile, and you leave with a frown. That's mostly how it happens. If you play online, you can play more than one tournament. It's possible live as well. Maybe you heard of some people at the World Series of Poker that were multi-tabling, playing two tournaments at the same time. But first, you're always gonna miss some hands on the one table, which is annoying. And second, the buy-ins are bigger, so you should kind of focus on yeah, the one table that you're using. If you play online, you can play up to, if you want, 24 tables. If I do my session at home, I have like 12 to 16 tables open mostly. When I'm on stream, I have 6 tables open. But if you followed one of my streams, you see that if I bust a tournament, it's not a big deal because I still have 5 other tournaments open, right? And I just also go into the lobby of the poker sites I'm using, and in no time I have a 6th table open. So it's not that big of a deal for me, and I can always keep on playing as long as I want. For tournaments, of course, there's like, if you register one, you want to play till the end, so you should know, okay, I can register for 3, 4 hours, and I know it might take another 6, 7 hours to finish everything, which is hopefully the case because, of course, you always want to win. Uh, but in live tournaments, like you say, okay, I want to play. Hopefully, you're gonna play on at least until that and that time, because otherwise, like the drive there was for nothing, and then you bust after 15 minutes. Um, that's pretty annoying, right? So better make better make sure that you know for which you're gonna choose here. So in a, just as a general information here again, how online poker works really. So people deposit money on the poker site, they play with it, and in the best case, this money goes to you, meaning everybody pays the entry fee. You win it, so you get the biggest part of the prize pool back. Um, Also, which is in addition to the normal buy-in fee, you always pay this rake. This is mostly around 10% for the smaller tournaments. PokerStars has yeah has a bit higher rate currently for the smaller ones, I think up to $22. They lowered a little bit for the bigger ones. So you see like a 530 is a $500 plus $30. So that's only 6% of rake. But yeah, that's how poker rooms make their money. That's how they can afford all the security to make the service run good. And yeah, just so that they offer the services of you being able to play there. Give me a second. A lot of talking. Probably should drink a little bit. And as always, guys, if you have if you have any questions, just feel free to write them. I'm happily answering all of them, and yeah, I can just see them in the chat, so I have no trouble in going back and forth between the presentation and your questions. Um, but so next question up here, where can I play? I just have, yeah, we basically have like the four biggest sites there are listed currently. There are some more, and as said, depends on where, in which country you play from. You might be able to not be able to play on any of these four, could be a thing, or just on one of them or two of them. Or but you will. I'm pretty sure you kind of always have one or two poker sites you can use. Of course, they should be trustworthy, so you should do some research if there were ever problems of withdrawing money, or if it's easy to hack or so. This could be the thing for some smaller sites, so be aware of that. But yeah, as a short overview, as you see, got the four biggest ones currently. We have PokerStars, which is by far still the best the best software for poker that there is. You have big tournament series. You have high guaranteed prize pools on a lot of tournaments. It's been going down quite a bit, I've seen, due to probably some fewer interest in poker in general, or people, yeah, not playing as much as they did before. But they still have really big prize pools, and as said, especially in those series they are running, they always, yeah, you can always get quite a big amount here. Negative thing here is, especially if you're new, the average player is pretty strong on PokerStars. That's of course related to the high guaranteed prize pools. When you can win a lot of money, that always draws the attention of good players. And therefore also the AFS, which means the average field size. So yeah, like self-explaining pretty much. Um, the tournaments have in average a bigger number of players than any other poker site has. And yeah, last but not least, if you do play a lot, and if, like 6, 7 years ago, people were just playing for that because they got quite a good rake back, so they could just live from the rake back. Nowadays, the rake back is pretty bad on PokerStars, and yeah, you don't get really much anything back if you play on there. Next up, Party Poker. What's good about them? They have quite some overlays. Overlays mean they guarantee a prize pool, and if the number of players that pay the entry fee do not reach that guaranteed amount, the poker site still has to pay that amount out. That's pretty nice because that means there's always like some free money for you if you play that tournament, as the prize pool is not reached. Um, and yeah, therefore you just have fewer people to beat to win the money. Also, the rakeback is pretty nice, as at least in comparison to PokerStars, it's pretty good still. And yeah, because of the overlays, also the average field size is rather low, and the players are in average weaker than on PokerStars. Yeah, disadvantage here definitely the unstable schedule and the average software. You heard about some crashes, for example. We just had another problem last week. Also, then, yeah, how the support handled that, I didn't really like. Whenever I had, for example, problems on PokerStars, I always got refunded. And here, for example, I had the same problem that occurred when the service crashed a few weeks ago, and they crashed 2 or 3 times in the last 1 or 2 months. And I couldn't possibly know that this was not a server crash. So I've waited for almost an hour and then I tried to reconnect. It worked, but all my tournaments were closed and I did not get any refund. So, I mean, it wasn't a lot of buy-ins, but still annoying because I'm used to having, yeah, quite a good support when it comes to those things from, for example, PokerStars. But anyway, and next up, unfortunately, I can't play on there. Um, but because it's blocked in the Czech Republic, as I was saying, there are some restrictions and they also hit me. So 888 Poker is not available for me, but it does have also pretty weak players in average. And yeah, the average field size is also pretty low. So you don't have to beat as many players as on PokerStars, for example. Also, which is kind of probably the dream from everybody more or less to qualify for the World Series of Poker main event, that 10K buy-in main event that gives away 7, 8 million for first over the last years. And yeah, 888 Poker was the or is still the official partner, so you can qualify on that website for that. So if you want to try your luck with that, 888 Poker is the way to go. Uh, on the other side, next to those qualification tournaments, they also run some live series, so you can also try to qualify over the software there. But yeah, the guaranteed price pools are rather low here. So yeah, if you, as said, if you want to play for big money, then 888 Poker is probably not the number one site to go to unless you can afford to play $200, $500 tournaments every time. Last but not least, we have GG Poker. Also to that is like net counts natural 8. That's not available for me anymore as well, for example, but I can still play on GG. Also, average field size is fairly low, and the players are in average also really, really weak. They do run quite some events and competitions, like some rake races, where you have to play cash game a lot, or you get some tournament series or new for example, like the short deck, where they were offering some promotions on that, which is pretty cool. And the rakeback system is pretty nice. When you are, I think, in the highest level, you can even get over 100% rakeback, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty nice. Um, Disadvantage here again, the price pools are not that big, so you don't win too much. As seen, if you, for example, followed my stream last week, I won an $11 pot limit Omaha tournament and I just got $150. So that's just 15 times the buy-ins. Um, if you think about like an $11 tournament in average on PokerStars, I think you would at least get twice, 3 times the amount if you get first in, as said, in an $11 tournament. But still, of course, nice. And as said, you don't have to beat as many people. So if you don't have that much time, you rather take those lower or smaller fields, but you still beat them, then you, of course, still making money, and that's what it's then also about when you play poker. Now, talking about software a little bit, because that was one of the questions I was posting at the beginning as well, which software to use. There are different kinds. There are trackers, calculators, and some game theoretical optimum solvers. We have the trackers, for example, Hold'em Manager 2, Hold'em Manager 3, which is the newer version of it. You have Hand to Note, and those programs track everything you play on the poker sites. So you get a database of your play, you see all your statistics, how often you raise, how often you 3-bet, how often you defend the big blind, the small blind, how often you bet the turn or fold to a river bet, and so on and so forth. With all those numbers, you can pretty easily see where your mistakes are, and also because you can see it, you can understand it and you can learn how to avoid those mistakes from then on, which is pretty nice and it helps you a lot to play. Calculators such like Flopzilla, Icemizer 3, having another video online on YouTube about that, for example, where I do a hand analysis and using Flopzilla for that, or we use Icemizer for those kinds of things. They show you for example, the equity of hands. In Icemizer, it's about pushing or calling, then pushing, folding, calling. When there's all-in situations where there is the ICM, so the independent chip model, where this is involved. So there's money jumps involved, and it's not only about chip EV, so what the expected value of your hands is versus the chip stack that the opponent is pushing or that you are pushing. And here again, last but not least, the GTO solvers, also having here simple post-flop, simple pre-flop, and also I think next week we will have another video about hand review where I will use the simple post-flop as well. And those programs, they really, as the program is saying, they are solving the the game for you. So they tell you what's the best play to do in a certain situation. And of course, it's not like 100% and 0%, but it's like 60% of the time you should do this, 20% of the time you should do this, and so on and so forth. But in that way, you can just see also if like the way you played it and the way the solver is telling you to play, you can see a lot of the yeah, you can just see how far you are from the optimum, or maybe, of course, it's not always easy to play the game theoretical optimum because your opponents have would need to play it in the same way as well. So there's adjustments in that case because people do not play perfect. There's nobody that plays perfect every time. So don't worry about that. But those programs can help you a lot. Of course, they cost some money, but I feel or I'm sure that investing that money now will help you making way more money later. So yeah, try that out. And if you want to take it, if you want to take it professionally, if you want to take it seriously, then go for it. Different things how to learn poker. And of course, this is, for example, one way where I'm as a coach, as you see here, because we're listed here as well, yeah, teach you the best ways to poker. So as said, we give you strategies, we give you pre-flop charts, for example, what to raise, what to defend, what to three bet, and what to bluff, and so on and so forth. But yeah, also help you to understand all this, what does it really mean, and also to implement this into your game. Of course, if you think about the other threes, books gonna cost some money, VODs, like also like Twitch streams, YouTube streams, or just normal YouTube videos, they don't cost money, and forums also don't cost money. You have to have internet for that, of course, uh, but just coaches give it to you like in a bundle, so they give it to you the most pure and natural way. But of course, for as a beginner, books are pretty nice. You can always get all the standard stuff, all the basics in books. Also, you can mark everything if you read them. It's easy to just stop reading and write something down, just to yeah, to just have everything in mind and don't forget about anything. For VOD, it's the same. You can just pause them, watch them later, make some notes. If you watch some live streams, for example, if you watch me playing, you can always ask questions about a certain hand. Or if you have a problem with a hand, you can post it. And if we got the time, we can, or I can go into that and try to help you a little bit. And yeah, same goes for forums. You can just post some hand histories. People will help you. There are forums like 2+2, Poker Strategy, for example, the two biggest ones, I'd say. Yeah, where people just try to help you. And yeah, last but not least, again, the coaches, where it's just yeah, in the most purest way, I would say, because it's like face to face. And yeah, they give you the direct feedback, and also there's yeah, it's the most honest way, I would say. Of course they cost the most, but then again, it's up to you if you want to try to improve the most, or if you're willing to invest some money, or if you want to try it in another way, which is of course totally fine. It just might take longer. Now, as I said, for the coaching, we don't not only have the group coachings available. There's also individual lessons available, where I or some of or one of our other coaches will just yeah, will coach you. Meaning, we find a fitting structure for every type of player. We work on your needs, and we also can show you how to work with every kind of software. Working on your needs means you just have certain problems in specific spots. So you're really bad with three bets. You are losing a lot of chips when you're sitting in the blinds, for example. and we can just work on that exactly. So I'm looking over your shoulder, you play, and we always talk about the hand afterwards, or we go through some hand history of yours, and I go through the stats that you have, and then I can explain you and show you according to those stats where the problems are, and therefore we can work on them, we can make them go away, and improve you as a player in the whole. Just to show you a little bit about what happened with me. So I said, now I'm 27. I started playing with friends when I was 12 roughly, started playing online poker when I was 18. So I'm playing for 9 years now. You see that here, we started early in 2011, and after winning one nice tournament, as you see, I was pretty much even for more than 8,000 tournaments. Why? Because I really didn't do anything theory wise. So I didn't really read anything. I did watch some videos on YouTube, but nothing too big on the educational side. So mostly like some some nice hand reviews or some nice streams or videos where they had like some big cash game hands or interesting final tables of a big series or so. But yeah, furthermore, not much really. And yeah, I didn't study at all. Then I started to use things like Holder Manager, DIC Miser, Flopzilla, for example, and as you see, it kind of worked better and in the almost the same amount of hands. Now it's 11,000 hands more, but my profit went from 6K up to 23K. Now we're sitting at roughly 25K, so I can I should probably upgrade this one more time. Uh, but yeah, you just see it really makes a difference. Like you can really see where I started studying, and yeah, I think this is like just basically the proof that studying and investing your time, your money in programs, in studying helps out a lot. And yeah, to end it all, as said, what I was talking about the whole time. How can you grow faster? How can you become a profitable poker player? And yeah, the answer is of course our course. So as said, we have this is like the first part of it where we show you a little bit how it works. And yeah, we have in total 4 group lessons here. We have strategy for MTTs. So as I said, I listed the kinds of MTTs you have, or you can play mostly. There are some more, but they always relate to a freeze out, a rebuy, or a knockout. And yeah, just show you how the strategy for those multi-table tournaments work. We let you, or I tell you about the basics of poker math, so you understand what outs are, what odds are, what are pot odds, what is fold equity, and all those kinds of things. Because you may have heard of it, but you may have, or you may not fully understand everything here. And here we do it in the most clearest way. So because also there's this back and forth between you as my students and me as the teacher here, where I can just give you a direct feedback. And there are of course there's no there are no stupid questions whatsoever. So you can ask me anything, and yeah, I'll just try to help you as good as possible. So we can improve you. Last 2 ones, again, we will go through poker software a lot. So to just show you the basics on how to work with it. Of course, there are YouTube videos and so on, but sometimes like maybe it's just on clicking directly. And yeah, here I'm there to show you directly how to find everything, how to use everything, how to set it up, and just how to also make a little analysis of your own, of your play so far. So to show you, okay, that's the way it should look like, and if your numbers are higher or lower than this, then this is probably wrong with your play. Last but not least, we can also do a hand review. This is always pretty much fun actually, because we have some interesting hands coming up. Again here, I really love it when people do some when they have like some really good ideas. It just didn't work out, and they might be embarrassed to show it. But I think we've always find a good mix in that. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, last but not least, again, the individual lessons were already talked about. What we go through there, we analyze your game, we can have a session together, or we just go through a hand review, as said. And also, if you have if you ever have any software questions, we just go through them. And yeah, what's the price of the course? So basically, if we put it together piece by piece, you see we have the online lessons and we have the personal trainings. So the individual lessons, they cost 200 euros. If you do it right, the poker room that you choose to play in, might be able or is gonna be able then to pay for your education. This means, as I talked about earlier, we have the rake, and normally you get like a like a deposit bonus. So you play this and this much on the side, and then they will give you some reward for it. Now, if you register or if you deposit money using our partner poker site in that country, we mostly have some partners in every country, and yeah, you just play on that site, create some rake for the site, and after you create some rake, yeah, the room or the course, so the course that is worth 200 euros will be paid as a reward by the poker room. For further details, just as said, hit the link and get in contact with our managers to make sure that yeah everything is everything is clear here. They can answer all your questions to not have any questions left if you when you start our course. And also it's really important that you are able to play on the poker side, of course. This is going to be it for today's trial lesson, by the way. Thanks for everybody that tuned in. I hope you learned some stuff, or if you have still any questions, let me know. As said, you can always get in contact with one of our managers through our website to make sure that everything is answered in a proper way. And then I hopefully get to see you when the course starts. We have all our videos available for that, and I'm always open to any questions also for the individual courses. If you want to have that, let me know. Um, Other than that, yeah, just one more time, thanks for tuning in. I'll be streaming tomorrow, 1 p.m. CET, so make sure to tune in there as well. Just gonna have one stream this week because I'll be going to the King's Casino to play a tournament series, so wish me good luck on that already. Mm, but yeah, other than that, thanks for tuning in one more time. Have a good night, guys, and good luck at the tables. Bye.